Have you ever seen a hot homeless woman? You know, a woman with like nice hair and amazing skin. Homeless. Neither have I. Today we are going to be talking about this graph, and because I'm using a graph, I'm probably a smart person, because smart people use graphs and statistics and all of this shit all the fucking time. And the other thing which I'm going to be using is abbreviations, and the number one abbreviation for the day is sexual market value, SMV. Namaste everyone, how's it going? Today we are going to talk about sexual market value, alright? But a small disclaimer before we begin. If you're a politically correct person, or if you're a SJW, which we call a social justice warrior, before you launch on my ass or my tits, because I would prefer you launching on my tits rather than on my ass, before you do that, keep your fucking feelings aside for a moment, apply some logic, apply some reason, and think about this shit. If you're somebody who's like a politically correct person, or if you're a feminist, or if you're somebody whose feelings basically get hurt even if a teddy bear looks at him, alright, then don't watch this video please, because it's gonna put a cactus up your ass, and I'm sure you don't want to be fucked with a cactus. Okay, so sexual market value is basically how desirable you are to the opposite sex. It is the desirability which the opposite sex has for you. It is how attractive you come across as to the opposite sex. So you can in a way say that it's a measure of attraction. It's like a metric you can use to quantify how attractive you are. So this is called the sexual market value scale. The purpose of this scale is to tell you what makes a man sexually attractive and what makes a woman sexually attractive. How you can improve in your own personal sexual market value. I will discuss about that in some future videos, but for now we are going to have a look at this to understand this as a core concept as to what the SMV scale is all about. So as you can see, I've got two lines here for both man and woman, and they go from 1 to 10. 10 being the most attractive the man or woman can be, and 1 being the least attractive the man or woman can be. Pay attention to this scale, because this is going to come in very, very handy in the future when I talk about more topics. Who sets your sexual market value? Your sexual market value is actually determined by the opposite sex. We personally have no control over defining our sexual market value, but we do have a scope to improve or degrade our sexual market value. A man's sexual market value is not going to be determined by which men find him attractive. Simple, alright? It is going to be dependent on how many women find him attractive and how attractive is he in the eyes of women. So it is very important to realize that your SMV is determined by the opposite sex and not by your own sex. So if you're a man and 10 million men tell you that, you know, trust us man, you're an eligible bachelor, you know, like we don't know why no woman marries you and shit like that, don't believe them. And the same way, if you're a woman, if you've got millions of friends telling you you're so beautiful and you're so amazing when you might be fat and have hairy tits, you're not beautiful, all right? You have hairy tits and you're fat. So, sorry, it doesn't work. What are the factors that influence sexual market value? Geography, culture, your race, your genetics, how fit you are in terms of physical fitness, how fit you are in terms of mental fitness, in terms of mental health, intelligence, etc. For now, let's try to understand what makes the number 10s the most attractive. The thing is, there are a lot of different kinds of traits on either side that influence a man's or a woman's position on the sexual market value scale. But what we are going to focus on are going to be the 1 or 2 most prominent factors, and the other factors are kind of related to these factors. So as you can see, I have put wealth and confidence over here, all right? Now, there are other things which are also very, very important, and they can be stuff like power, social status, resourcefulness, dominance, etc., like other masculine traits. Now, the thing is that, for example, if a man has wealth and confidence, he does acquire power out of it, all right? If a man has wealth as well as confidence, he is higher in the social ladder. He is more highly placed in society, and he has more social status than the average man. Because you can be an average man and have confidence, but if you're not wealthy, and if you're not working to gain wealth, or you know, if you're not on the path of gaining wealth, then you can have all the confidence in the world. It will make you sexually attractive, but at the same time, it will not make you attractive in the long run. For example, a certain number of women will not be attracted to you simply because you have confidence, all right? Women will also look for your providing ability, because some women, like women who are higher on this end of the scale, they will demand more of these traits in the man. All right. How a man comes to the top of the scale is if he meets both the protector and the provider abilities that a man is supposed to have. All right. Now, the confidence shows a woman that you're capable of protecting. It shows the alpha in the man. So it shows that if there's any situation that needs handling, and it's an emergency situation or a disaster or some kind of a catastrophe or a danger, that a man will be able to protect the woman as well as the children if they have any, if it comes to that kind of a situation. So a man at the top of this scale needs to have both protector and provider abilities, and I'll make a video on that. So the wealth shows the providing ability, because if you're a wealthy man, you can provide for the woman, for yourself, for any children that you may have. All right. And if you have confidence, you're showing the protector ability that you have. If you think back to the times of early man, the nuclear families of a man, a prehistoric man, a prehistoric woman and their family would have to safeguard themselves against dangers such as shortage of food or predators in the jungle. And for that, if you don't have confidence, if you're a guy who shits his pants, all right, if he sees a lion or if he sees a jaguar or if he sees even a little frog, then you're not going to be able to protect yourself and your family. The second thing is wealth, which comes to your resourcefulness, your providing abilities. So when we talk about providing abilities, this means that he should be able to provide shelter, he should be able to provide food, water, like the basic necessities. And if he's able to do this, he's meeting the provider criteria also. So these are the things that are significantly important in determining a man's position on the SMV scale. Other things also matter, such as power, social status, resourcefulness, genetics, your race, your geography, but that's another video for the future. But all of those traits kind of can be either negated or made more powerful by the combination of having these two traits. And the stronger you are in these two traits, the better you are when it comes to your social status, the better you are when it comes to the amount of power that you display, the better you are in terms of, like, if you have wealth and confidence, you can end up being a pretty dominant man. And dominance doesn't necessarily have to mean something evil. Like the whole, era of feminism, this whole time of third wave feminism which has come around has made this concept of dominance a very evil concept. They don't realize that dominance is actually very necessary in some really important parts of society and life. And dominance can be used for good. Like, there are aspects of the masculine which, if abused, are definitely bad, but at the same time, our job should be to educate men in order to learn them and apply them in the correct manner so that they are constructive. And men have done this throughout, like centuries. Great civilizations have been built, great achievements have been made, great progress has been made in the field of science, technology, music, literature, anything. And at the same time, this, like me saying this, doesn't mean that women can't do this, but we can't avoid the fact that men have done a great deal of all of this shit, all right? And they've done it because they've used their masculine traits in the right manner. Okay, let's come to the women. Now, a lot of people are going to be pissed if I'm going to say this, but the number one thing which determines a woman's SMV, or like influences it 90 to 95%, is her beauty. Okay? Anyway, so how beautiful a girl is, how attractive she is, that is the number one thing which is going to determine how successful she is when it comes to reproduction. Fuck me, it's not what I'm saying, it's not Sirhud's way of thinking, it's biology and evolution. Go fight with fucking Darwin if you have a problem, alright? Before you drop some hate, alright, on me, which please bring it on, because honestly I love getting hate, it turns me on. How I'm going to ask you to verify that for yourself if you actually want to hit that dislike button, which please do, because I told you it gives me a boner, alright? So what I'm going to ask you is to think back in your life and actually wonder if you have ever seen a beggar or a homeless person who is an attractive girl. I haven't either. Surprise, bitch. So, you will never ever see a homeless person who is a hot girl. Why? Because, come on, let's face it. Let's all think about this, alright? Because we need to think about shit like this, which is common sense. That this is a fact of nature and something about which we can see evidence in our daily life. That if you're a girl and if you're a good looking, attractive girl, life does kind of become easy for you. Things do come easily to you. you are kind of preferred in every social situation. You are preferred in every aspect of life. And again, I'm not demonizing this. Neither am I saying that ugly people should go kill themselves. Nor am I saying that beautiful people are lucky. No. There is a pro and there is a con to each and every aspect of evolution and biology. And you need to understand that. The number one thing is beauty. The second thing is youth. Alright. Now, you might think that this is kind of conflicting because beauty and youth might have a direct relationship. It is true to an extent that youth and beauty do have a direct relationship, because the older a woman gets, the less attractive she looks. And even for a man, a young, attractive woman is the most fertile option that he has for reproduction in terms of evolution. So any day you're going to prefer a 20-year-old who looks hot compared to a 30-year-old. All right. Come on, girls, all the 30-year-old girls hit the fucking dislike button. Why I say that beauty is primary? Because a hot, beautiful 30-year-old woman is going to win at the game of life, at evolution, at reproduction, rather than, let's say, a 20-year-old girl who's obese and overweight and fat and ugly. All right. And the thing is that you don't even need to be ugly. Even if you're a 20-year-old but you're super fat, and your same girl, when she's 30, if she's in shape and looks more beautiful, any guy is going to opt for the 30-year-old rather than 20-year-old. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. And the thought experiment that I'm going to give you for men, when you ask me, when all those angelic girls will come out and say that, oh no, we never look for money in a man, or oh no, we never look for confidence in a man. I just want a gentleman who will piss on himself if I ask him to, bitch. Let me tell you one thing. Look around in the fucking media, look around yourself, look around in your life, and tell me if you have ever seen a fucking hot woman with 60, 70-year-old, wrinkly, with sagging balls kind of guys in suits and ties and who are fucking billionaires or millionaires. We have all seen that. Like, if you tell me that, you don't want men who are wealthy, like, just look around at some of the wealthiest guys in the world. They have wives or girlfriends who are 30, 40 years younger to them and are spanking hot. Some girls are like 20-year-old and they're dating like 70-year-olds. And I'm not talking about sugar daddies here, all right? I'm not talking about girls who do this for a living. I'm talking about real love. Oh my God, Sirhud just said that there's a connection between love and money. Yes, bitch, there is. Sorry if I get so pissed. It's only because people choose to be stupid. Because the thing is, a lot of times in our life, certain things are very hard to face and believe because we might not be on the fortunate end of that particular thought. All right. So if somebody is over here, or if somebody's over here, they're not going to like it. Why? Because who the fuck wants to be sexually undesirable? Nobody. Fear not, my little ones. What I'm going to talk about in the future is how, if you're here, and how, if you're here, how to get here. All right. I'm going to talk about that. It's not going to be the same for man and woman. Obviously, it's going to be different because man and woman are not the same. Man and woman are different. So the aim of every man and woman is to optimize their position on this SMV scale. They do this because of the evolutionary goal of reproduction. All right. Because you want to increase your ability to reproduce. So obviously, the more desirable you become, the more desirable as a mate you are to the opposite sex. So if you're one of the most beautiful looking girls on the planet, every guy will want to fuck you. All right. Same way, if you're the most desirable man on the planet, every woman will want to fuck you and have a child with you also. But there is a caveat when it comes to the woman, when it comes to the woman's aspect, there is a caveat to this thing, which I'll talk about again later. But to make it simple, if you're here, all of them want to fuck you. And if you're here, all of them want to fuck you. All right. So everybody's aim in life is to get here. And I want you to think about this. When I told you to think in terms of evolution, when I told you to think in terms of survival and reproduction, that why do people try to become rich? Why do people try to look better? Why do people, like for example, if a girl becomes rich, she knows that she'll come in the class of much richer men, and she'll be able to meet them and date them and have children with them. A man wants to become rich, obviously, because he wants to increase his ability to attract more hot, good-looking women who are so beautiful that they can demand their men to be as perfect as them, that they can demand their man to be good-looking, as well as rich, as well as dominant, as well as confident, and all of these things, all right? So the same way, if there's a man who's on this end of the spectrum, he's not going to settle for a bitch from here, all right? And you will say, no, but love is blind and love is unconditional. I'll talk about that in the future, and I'll tell you why your thought process is really not accurate. The same way, if a man is placed over here, he has the choice of some of the most beautiful women on the planet, because he knows that he has optimized himself on that SMV scale. So he is a worthy man. So the same way, he's going to want a worthy woman. He's going to want a woman who is beautiful, first and foremost. Second, who is as young as she can be. Because the younger the woman is, the longer her beauty will remain. Because everybody knows with age, women lose their beauty. All right, beauty depreciates with age, which does not affect men as much, because women do not get attracted to men visually. All right, women do not find men attractive based on their looks solely. All right, women get attracted to men because of these traits and the other secondary traits that I mentioned. Men get attracted to women solely based on visual appeal. A man knows within like a millisecond of looking at a girl that does he want to fuck her or not. It is a split second decision. It is not something that needs to be thought on. Whereas for women, it works the other way around. Women need to think and analyze and test a man in order to figure out how worthy or how deserving he is to reproduce with them. I want you to conduct a thought experiment for yourself. Everybody whom you know in your life, can you place them somewhere on this scale? Every man, woman, senior, junior, no matter from which part of the world they are, can you put them somewhere? Now, obviously, this goes beyond, or like this goes against the idea of a perfect world where all of us are equal and, you know, real beauty lies on the inside and shit like that. But no, real beauty does not lie on the inside. If I take some shit and smear it on your face, you're not going to be beautiful regardless of how beautiful you are on the inside, all right? Because outside, you're still going to look like shit, okay? Now, this is not me saying that good looks is the most important thing on the planet, no. So for today, I want to make it really crisp and short, and I just want you not even to listen to what the fuck I'm saying. Like for today, I just want you to get this fucking scale in your head and do a couple of things, all right, as takeaways from this video. First, figure out in your environment and in your surroundings, where do you fall on the scale first. The second thing I want you to think about is that every human being whom you know in your life, your best friends, your acquaintances, your colleagues at work, your classmates if you're in college or school, I want you to figure out where do they fit on this scale in that same environment of yours. And I want you to understand the depths to which I'm talking about these traits over here. And in the future, I will come back with one talking about how to optimize your position if you're a woman, how to optimize your position if you're a man, how to look for a suitable mate based on this scale, how evolution makes us use this scale for the betterment of the species, and also what are the best times in a man or a woman's life when their position is the most optimal on the scale. So look out for that. These topics are like the core concepts of life around us. Every living being, every breathing being works according to this. The whole animal kingdom, evolution, Charles Darwin in his fucking grave, he's thinking the same shit even now. Just think about this shit. Keep your fucking feelings aside for a moment. Apply some logic, apply some reason, apply some clarity, apply some openness, and think about this shit. See you.